So, dear students, so today our topic is cerebellum. Okay, it is also known as the chota brain or little brain. So, already you've seen many times in the movies like Krantivir. So, that hero Nana Patekar told, so don't hit me here or beat me here. So, here is a chota dimag is there. Okay, because cerebellum actually it is a little brain. Okay, because so whatever the functions, so that was regulated by the cerebrum. Okay, so that whole function also regulated by the cerebrums. Cerebrum in can insist the functions and cerebellum it can correct the sequence. It is one type of the monitors what are different parts of the brain, so they are involved in the regulations of various activities of the body regarding the motor activities or regarding the sensory activities. So whatever the activities are there, so in your body, so that was regulated by cerebrum, okay, or cerebral cortex. So with the help of the various parts of the brain like thalamus, hypothalamus, pons, even medulla oblongata. So these all are, so they are somewhere they are involved in the to control or to regulate the functions like respiration, digestion, or many others are there. Even regarding the metabolisms of proteins, carbohydrates, as well as lipids, some hormone synthesis. So whatever the biochemical functions are there, so that was somewhere that is the role of the cerebrum. Okay, even the locomotor. So that was filter out. So whatever whenever it is necessary or not necessary, so like that some filtration is occurs. So that is the filtration was done by the cerebellums. So that's why the cerebellum is known as a little brain. It is one of the smallest part of the brain or comes under CNS. It was involved in the regulations of the all type of the activities. So actually the cerebellum, so that is the main activity is motor activity or it is involved in the to regulations or to control the motor activities. Motor activity regarding that is once again the working memory, processing memory, learning skills, language skills, walking, running, whatever motor activities are there. Okay, so those activities are also initiated or corrected by the cerebellums. If any problem in the cerebellum, then we are suffering from the lack of the concentrations on the regular activity. Okay, you are plan to walk, you plan to run, but where you are feel unable to walk or balance the body during the walking, running, many others. When that is a failure of the cerebellum. So that is the cerebellum is the one of the smallest part of the brain. It is also most important as compared to other part of the brain. So that's why it was considered as the little brain or also known as the chota brains. So now we learn regarding the introductions. So dear students, the cerebellum which stands for the little brain, so is the structure of the central nervous system. It is the main part as compared to other parts of the brain or cerebrum. It is also one of the important parts that was involved in the regulations of the various activity. And it is mainly it was involved in the regulations of the motor activities or motor coordinations, especially equilibriums. What are the equilibriums are? That is the balancing of the body, that is also regulated by the cerebellum. For examples, so whenever walking, so our hands is slowly movement is there. So when you are running, so hands are also speedily their movement is there because they need to balance the body during the running. If you close the hand and you start to run, means it is not possible, you can fall down. Okay, so that hand postures, so that was helpful for balancing the body during the locomotion, different kind of locomotion. Okay, so that hand movements are controlling, so that was known as the equilibrium nothing but balancing of the body according to the situations. So that is also one of the important role or control by the cerebellums. Okay, cerebellums, so mainly it is involved in the coordinations, precisions, and as well as it can initiate the timing of the movements, and also it was helpful for the to recall or re-regulate the motor learning. What are learnings are there? So during the motor activities like walking, so how to walk on the roof or how to walk in the classrooms, so how to walk in the alone, how to walk somewhere, so when the dog is fall down, how to run away. So these are all our motor learnings are there, or many others are the writing skills are also considered as the motor skills. So these all are learned skills is also fascinate or regulated by the cerebellums. So dear students, our hidden brain, our brain is mainly divided into three parts, that is forebrain, midbrain and hidbrain. And hidbrain, it was once again subdivided into two parts, that is the metaencephalon, that is superior, then myelencephalon, that is inferior. And these cerebrums, it was developed from the metaencephalon, that is the superior of the hindbrain, that was the exact location of the cerebellum. Okay, cerebellum, it was developed from the metaencephalons. So that's what is known as the metaencephalon division or develops from the metaencephalon. So regarding the anatomical locations, so cerebellum, it was located just below the occipital loop or below the temporal loop. So here it is locations of temporal loop and it is the locations of the occipital loops. It is just below the occipital loops and temporal loops. And here the cerebellum, it is anteriorly or inferiorly to the occipital lobe and as well as the temporal lobe. And here the cerebellum, it was separated by a occipital lobe as well as the, that is the temporal lobe, by a area that was known as the tentorium cerebelli. So tentorium cerebelli, it is the one of the tough layer of dura matter. It can separate the cerebellum. So that off with the occipital lobe, that off with the temporal lobes. It means the cerebellum exactly, it was located just below the occipital lobe, just below the your temporal lobe. So that is the locations of the our cerebellum, so that was separated from occipital lobe, temporal lobe by a tentorium cerebelli. And as well as the cerebellum is also posterior to the pons. It means it can side to the pons. The cerebellum, it is an also, that is the, it can posterior to the pons. So pons is the another, okay, parts of the brain. So it is here cerebellum, it was exactly opposite or posterior to the our pons and as well as the medulla oblongata, just below, that is the locations of the medulla oblongata. So that's why, so the cerebellum, it was posterior to the pons and medulla oblongata. So here the cerebellum, it was separated by a pons and the medulla oblongata by a fourth ventricle. So the fourth ventricle, it can separate the cerebellums. So that of with the pons and as well as the medulla oblongata. So ventricles are nothing but, so these are the special cavities. So they are present in our brain. So they are filled with the special fluid. So that fluid was known as the cerebrospinal fluid. So this fluid, it can nourish the brain and it can supply the micronutrition to the brain whenever necessary, and also it can protect the brain from physical, chemical as well as the mechanical injury. So like that in our brain we having the fourth ventricle, one is the anterior, one the post lateral ventricles, so and one the third is another is the fourth ventricle. So like that here the fourth ventricle, it can separate cerebellum, so that of with the pons and as well as the medulla oblongata. So cerebellum, so like unlike cerebrum, cerebral cortex, it is also consist of the two layer or two hemisphere, and these hemisphere, so they are interconnected by a vermis. It is the narrow midline area. So this midline area, it can interconnect the both hemisphere of the cerebellums. So cerebellum, it means the cerebellum is also made up of or consist of the two hemisphere, and each two hemisphere they are interconnected with the vermis, and vermis is the midline area. So like it is also like a cerebral cortex, it is also consist of the gray matter, so as well as the white matters. Okay, so gray matter it is located surface of the cerebellum, and here white matter it can located in the under the underneath of the cerebellar cortex. So white matter consists of the four nuclei, that is the dentate, emboliferum, globose, and as well as the fastic nuclei. Okay, and gray matter they are consist of the nucleus or cell body. Okay, so here the cerebellum is also divided into three parts on the basis of the anatomical classification. So anatomically, the cerebellum is mainly divided into three loops, that is anterior loop. So this is the anterior loop, then posterior loop, and as well as the flocculondular loop. So this is the flocculondular loop. So like that, so anatomically the cerebellum it was divided into three parts. That is the anterior loop, posterior loop, and flocculondular loops. And as well as, so according to zone, so cerebellum it was divided into two zones. So that is the lateral hemisphere zone and as well as the intermediate zone. So like that, so on the basis of anatomical classification, so the cerebellum it was divided into three parts: anterior, posterior, floccular loop. Then as well as on the basis of zone, so it was divided into two parts: lateral hemisphere zone and as well as the intermediate hemisphere zones. So next, so here the cerebellum is also it can divide functionally. So functionally the cerebellum it can divide it into three part: cerebellum, that is the area between cerebellum and cerebral cortex. Okay, so that division or that part of the cerebellum is known as the cerebrocerebellum. It means, so this part of the cerebellum it can interacts with the or it can gather the inputs from the cerebral cortex. Okay, it always interconnected with the one of the part of the cerebral cortex, and near the cerebellum, so that is the occipital lobe is there, then as well as temporal lobes is there, so they're easily interconnected, so with the cerebral cortex. So that part of the cerebellum is known as the cerebrocerebellum. So another part, functionally, so that cerebellum is divided into spinocerebellum. It means that is the space between spinal cord and cerebellum. So that part of the cerebellum was known as the spinocerebellum. So as the name indicates, it can interact or interconnected with the spinal cord. Okay, so cerebellum, okay, cerebellum it may be take for input from the spinal cord, and also it can use the output to the spinal cord. And as you know, the spinal cord it's and play an important role regulations of the contraction and relaxations of the skeletal muscle. So that contraction and relaxation and initiations on the correct movements, because the contraction like skeletal muscle it was required for the motor activities, or it was required for the locomotions. Okay, or it is required for the to maintain the body postures or equilibrium. So that was required by contraction and relaxation of the skeletal muscle. So various series of events as occurs. Okay, so during a running, the body movements are different. Always that is the balancing. Hand will be helpful for the balancing. Okay, when sitting, then the leg will be bended. So like that. So various movements is required for locomotion. So all movements was initiated or corrected or monitored by the cerebellum. So with the help of the spinal cord. So that part was involved in the to regulations of the motor skill or to corrections of the motor inputs. So that part was known as the spinocerebellum. So next one is the, that is the vestibulocerebellum. So this vestibular part, okay, so this part is mainly involved in the to regulate the hearing. Okay, it is involved in the to regulate the hearing, whatever the inputs, so there came from the ear, so that can be integrated. So according to that, it was involved in the equilibrium, that is the balancing of the body. Okay, for example, if anyone, if it is shouting to you, it means you can easily interact to them. Okay, if same time, if your senior classmates are there or your teacher or shout to you, means you can silently you are keeping in the class. Okay, where you are not interact easily. Okay, so this is the one type of the equilibriums, so where to show our emotions. And as well as, so during the movement, according to sound, we can balances our body. Okay, according to sound. Okay, so that was regulated by the one system, so that system was known as the vestibular system. And these vestibular systems mainly present in the temporal lobe. Its main function is, it was involved in regulations of hearing, as well as it was involved in the equilibrium. So like that, so this vestibulocerebellum part, it was mainly concerned or work along with the vestibular system. It can take the inputs from the vestibular system, as well as it can use the outputs to the vestibulocerebellum part. So due to that, it was involved in the to initiate the to correct the movements or equilibriums, and as well as it was involved in the hearing. So like that, functionally, the cerebellum is mainly divided into three parts. One is the cerebellum, then spinocerebellum, and vestibulocerebellum. So regarding the cerebellum, it can receive the inputs from the cerebral cortex, as well as the pontine nuclei. So this pontine nuclei, it was play an important role in the equilibrium, as well as initiations of the inspiration and expirations. Okay, so from where it is also got the inputs message, what really happens in our body, and as well as it can got the inputs from the cerebral cortex. And cerebral cortex is the main part of the brain. It was got the sensory information and integrate that, and find out the answer and send to the different organs. Okay, are different parts of the brain. So and here cerebellum, it is also got the inputs from the cerebral cortex. According to that inputs, it was involved in the regulations of the body activities. And this part, it can send the outputs its own answer. It is also in cerebellum also the integration is occurs. So what can do the organ, that is also answer was generated in the cerebellum, so that was known as the outputs. And this part, it can send outputs to the thalamus, and as well as the red nucleus. So red nucleus is another main part of the brain. It was mainly involved to initiate the motor coordinations. So what are the motor coordinations are there, that is the that is showing the facial expression or emotions, cognitive functions, learning skill or language skill. So these all are somewhere that was regulated by the red nucleus. And here cerebral cortex is send outputs to the thalamus. Thalamus is a relay station, and red nucleus, it was involved in the regulations of the various motor coordination activities. So like that, it can correct the motor coordinations activity or initiate the correct sequence in the motor coordinations by giving the outputs to the red nucleus, by getting the inputs from the cerebral cortex, as well as the pontine nucleus. So according to that, our emotions or body language are changes according to the inputs from the cerebral cortex and pontine nuclei, and send outputs to the thalamus and red nucleus through a cerebrocerebellum part of the cerebellum. So that's why, so this cerebrocerebellum, it was mainly involved in the to regulate the coordinations of the muscular activation, as well as important in the to guide the movements. So how the movements are needed during the various activities, so that all movements one by one sequence in the movements, that is also regulated by the cerebrocerebellum. So regarding the spinal, so that is sorry, spinocerebellum, so it is mainly present in the vermis and intermediate zone of the cerebral hemisphere. So it is mainly involved in the regulations of the body movements, allowing the for error corrections. So any errors are there in the movements, that was the corrected, okay, then sent to the spinal cord, then spinal cord initiated the movements, and that correction was done in the cerebellum, in the parts of the spinocerebellum. So like that, so this spinocerebellum, it can receive the inputs from the proprioceptive information. Proprioceptive information, so that was regulated by the proprioceptor. So these proprioceptors, so these are mainly present in the leg. Its function is, so they can monitor the movement of the leg. So according to that only, the cerebral cortex involved in the regulations of respiration and regulations of blood pressure and blood supply to the leg. If the leg are running means, so that can detected by the proprioceptors and information cerebral cortex, then cerebral cortex, it can enhance the cardiac output towards the leg as compared to other part of the body, because so during running the legs muscle, they require more nutrition and more oxygen. So same inputs is also received by the spinocerebellums. That was the second part of the cerebellum, and according to that, it was helpful for to regulate the body movements, and also it can fulfill the demands of the legs according to proprioceptions along with the cerebral cortex. So that's why the spinocerebellums, it was mainly involved in the to regulations of the movements related to the lower limbs or leg. Next one is the, there is a vestibulocerebellum. So it is mainly, it is similar to the focolondular loop. So it was involved in the controlling balances as well as the ocular reflexes. It is mainly control the equilibrium, balances and ocular reflexes, and also it can be fixation on a target. So this part mainly receives the inputs from the vestibular system and send outputs back to the vestibular nuclei, and this systems is mainly present in the temporal lobe. Its major function is, it was involved in the regulations of hearing. So according to hearing, it was involved in the equilibriums or balancing of the body, and this part of the cerebellum, it can receive inputs from the same part and send outputs, that is the answer, to the same part. Then it was helpful for the equilibrium, that is the balancing of body as well as our hearings. So next one, so regarding the vasculature or blood circulation towards the cerebellum, so mainly, so there are three arteries, so they are involved in the continuously to supply the oxygenated blood to the cerebellum. So number one, that is the superior cerebral artery. So it is also written as the SCA. Then enter inferior cerebral artery, that is the AICA. Then posterior inferior cerebral artery, that is a PICA. So these three arteries, so they are mainly supply the oxygenated blood to the cerebellum. Cerebellum is also continuously, it can require the oxygenated blood similar to the cerebral cortex. And first two, that is the superior cerebral artery and anterior inferior cerebral artery. So they are begins from the basilar artery. Okay, and regarding the posterior inferior cerebral artery, so they are originates or begins from the vertebral artery. So like that, basilar and vertebral arteries, so they are involved in the to supply the oxygenated blood to cerebellum with the help of the SCA, AICA, PICA, that is the PICA. So like that, the cerebellum, it can got the blood with the help of the, so these three arteries. So next one, regarding the functions of the cerebellum, the cerebellum is mainly involved in the to balance and stability of the body, maintaining the stations or your body balancing. So that is one of the main functions of the cerebellum, and also it was involved in the coordinations of the movements regarding initiations of the movement and moving smoothly or precisely, that is also regulated by cerebellum according to situations, and coordinating the eye and head movements during the movement. There is need of the coordinations of the eye on the target, and as well as there is a need of the movement of the head on the target to find out the easy way Okay, so that is that head movement and the coordinations of the eye on the target, that was also regulated by the cerebrums. Okay, then also planning and learning complex movements. Okay, so what are the plannings are there during the movements, and whatever learning skills are there, so that also initiate during the movements. So that is also the work of the system. So last time, so movements are there for during the running, so then I can got the achieve the that distance for this time. Okay, so like that the learning skill and planning, so that was also regulated or initiated during the movement. That is also one of the work of the cerebrums. Okay, so next one, the cerebellum is also involved in the cognitions and learning. Cognition means to recall the memory or events whatever learned in the past. Okay, in the past history, so whatever you learn, so that should be the recalling immediately. So that property of the brain was known as the cognitive function. And learning, the fresh event moments or events are they will be learned, that was known as the learning. And both the cognitive and learning function was also regulated by the cerebellum. If any problem in the cerebellum is, so then also our memory power can be lost, then also we are suffering from the amnesia or dementia or Alzheimer disease. So any accident, if any injury to the cerebrum part of the brain, okay, that is the little part of the brain, then we can lose our memory or we can fail to learn the new skills. So that's why that is one of the important function cerebellum, that was also like a cerebral cortex, that is the amygdala, hippocampus. Okay, from the cerebrum. So these two part mainly involved in the cognitive and learning, but here cerebellum is also along with them, it is also play an important role in the cognitive as well as the learning functions. So that's what is involved, it is a well planned. So there is any problem in that this part, so then we are suffering from amnesia or dementia. Okay, so next one, so regarding the clinical relevance, so many diseases are there. So mainly paralysis, that is related to the cerebellum dysfunction, or that is the Alzheimer. It is also related, that is memory loss, it is also related to the cerebellum dysfunction. And there is the no balancing in the body movements. Okay, so there is no coordinations. Okay, so there is no correct facial expressions during the various movement, that is also dysfunctions that was related to the cerebellum. But here the most important is, that is the cerebral dysfunction. Okay, so it is occurs due to damage to the cerebrocerebellum and spinocerebellum. If any accident, if injuries occurs to the cerebrocerebellum and spinocerebellum, so due to that certain injury or clot is occurs in these part. So due to that the person was failed to regulate the learned skill, and as well as failed to plan so during the body movements. So that condition was known as the cerebral dysfunction. It occurs due to any injury or any internal hemorrhage, okay, due to over stress. Okay, due to over stress or overthinking, then also internal hemorrhages occurs. Or hypoxia, deficiency of oxygen in the brain, then also internal hemorrhage occurs. If it is occurs in the cerebellum part or spinocerebellum parts of the cerebellum means definitely, so that person can lose the movements or coordinations or equivalent can be abnormal. So that condition was known as the cerebral dysfunction. So regarding the etiology or risk factor, so risk factors are nothing but etiology, reason for that condition. The first condition is stroke. Stroke may be hemorrhagic stroke or may be hypoxic stroke. Okay, due to deficiency of oxygen, then also internal hemorrhage occurs due to injury or blood vessel injury or stress, then also hemorrhage occurs. So that was known as stroke. So stroke is one of the problems or main risk factor for cerebral dysfunction. So due to that, the paralysis is occurs in the old days. So when they are fall down, our grandparents, so then easily, so they lost their body movements. So they are suffering from the paralysis because of stroke. Okay, So next one, physical trauma or tumors. Okay, any tumors is there or trauma is there, injury, trauma nothing but injury, and tumors nothing but cancer. Okay, any trauma or tumors, then also cerebral dysfunction is occurs. Okay, then chronic alcohol access. Okay, so those are chronic alcoholic patient, so they are failed to maintain their gait or body, that is the, sorry, the body positions. So already you know, so those are chronic alcoholic persons are there, so their body never balances even in the next day after withdrawal of the alcohol still, so their shaking movements are present in the body. So when they're talking, so they're having the certain shaking movements in the body, so that is the due to excess of alcohol. That is one of the cerebral dysfunction. It means the excess consumptions of alcohol, that is also causes the damage of the cerebrums or spinocerebellum. So that's why you can avoid the excess of alcohol. So regarding the clinical manifestation that can occur, the that dysdiadochokinesia, that is the difficulty carrying out rapid alternating movements, ataxia, so there is no movement, then nystagmus course, then intention, tremor, body shaking movements are there, then scanning speech, problem in the speech, then hypotonia, decrease the muscle contraction power, relaxation power, then damage to the vestibulocerebellum can manifest with loss of balance and abnormal gait with wide strength. That is the problem in the equilibriums and hearing. So these are the one of the main clinical manifestations that related to the cerebral dysfunction. So this is a clinical relevance related to the cerebellum. So now we can concentrate regarding the midbrain. So it is the one of the another part, main part of the brain. So it is just posterior to the pons and just below the hypothalamus. So that part is known as the midbrain. So regarding midbrain, so midbrain, it is a part of the brainstem, so that can connect the pons cerebellum with the forebrain or cerebral cortex or different parts of the cerebrum or forebrain. So that can interconnected with the pons or interconnected with the cerebellum. So with the help of the midbrain. Okay, so then main parts of the midbrains are, there is a tectum. So this tectum, it consists of the mainly relay nuclei. So that nuclei is mainly involved in the regulations of the visual memory. Then as well as it can consist of the cerebral peduncles like a crus cerebri. So it is involved in the to got the inputs or outputs toward the cerebral cortex. Then tegmentum, so it is involved in the regulations of various eyeball movements, okay, as well as the certain sensations or facial expression. Then substance nigra is also part of the midbrain or cerebral peduncles. So this substance nigra, it was involved in that to control the extra pyramidal activities like facial expressions, anxiety, and cognitive functions or writing skill, reading skill, speaking skill. So these all are considered as the extra pyramidal activities. So that was regulated by the substance nigra, and substance nigra is the parts of the midbrain. So regarding the nuclei, so the midbrain, it mainly consists of the nuclei like a relay nuclei. It was involved in the processing of the auditory and visual information. It is also consisted of the oculomotor nerve, that is CN3. So that is candle nerve 3. It is involved in the to mediate the movements of eyeball or change in pupil size or lens shape. Then trochlear nerve, that is candle nerve 4. It was conduct the impulses that related to the eyeballs movement, and is also considered the nuclei for the nuclei nothing but group of the nucleus that can control the functions of that nerve. Okay, there is a trigeminal nerve, there is CN candle nerve 5. So this is control the sensation of face. It means due to presence of these nuclei, the midbrain, so it was involved in the regulations of visual information, to adjust the eyeball size and shape, also to regulate the movements of the eyeballs, and also it was involved in the to regulate the facial expressions. So regarding the functions, so it was involved in the eye movement, ocular and auditory reflexes, breathing, painful modulation, mood regulation, and as well as enables the passage of the major ascending and descending pathways. Okay, so like that, so midbrain, it play an important to connect the pons cerebellum, so that is with the forebrain, then involved in the to regulations of the various functions. So next one, so regarding the basal ganglia, so basal ganglia is one of the important part of the cerebellum, not cerebrum, not cerebellum, cerebrum. So this basal ganglia is nothing but it is the compositions of the three nuclei. It consists of three nuclei like the globus pallidus, potamon, and as well as the caudate nucleus. So regarding definition, so it is the deepest parts of the cerebral hemisphere. It has consist of three nuclei or masses of the gray matters. Regarding the globulus pallidus, it was involved in the regulations of muscle tone. Then potamon, it was involved in the anticipations and body movements. And caudate nucleus, so it is involved in the regulations of the eye movements. So regarding the parts, it consists of the stratum, that are dorsal stratums, ventral stratums, then as well as it consists of globus pallidus, subthalamic nucleus, and substantia nigra. So regarding the functions, so it is involved in the to receive the inputs from the cerebral cortex and provide outputs to the motor area via the medial and ventral nuclei of the thalamus. Through the putamen nuclei, it was involved in the anticipations and regulates the body movements. And through the caudate nuclei, it was involved in the regulations of the eye movement. Through a globus pallidus, it was involved in the regulations of the muscle contraction, muscle relaxation, that was known as the muscle tone. And also, it was involved to control the subconscious contractions of the skeletal muscle during the sleep. Then also our muscles can be contracted. That was known as the subconscious contractions. That was also regulated by the basal ganglia, and also it was helpful for to initiate or terminate the cognitive functions like attentions, memory, planning, as well as the emotion.